Back in January, I did one simple thing that allowed me to go on 4 dates with 2 girls in 48 hours. And then a few weeks later, I did that same thing again, and it allowed me to meet the girl that I'm still dating to this day. And it is so simple, but most men, they believe it's impossible because I did all of this without even opening a dating app. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through how, if I had 24 hours and I had to get a date, how exactly would I do that? So let's roll the clocks back to January. And I was walking home from the city centre, and as I was walking down a street, I just saw this really cute girl coming past. She had this cute hat on. It was kind of like a beanie hat. I just stopped her and was just like, hey, that's a really cute hat. And funnily enough, it actually took kind of 2 attempts. She had her earphones in, so there was a bit of like, hey. But once she kind of realised what was happening, we ended up entering a conversation. So she liked the compliment, then I was just like, hey, oh, what you up to today? And she was talking about how she'd just been to the mall and she was coming back because she bought some yoga stuff, but right now she was meant to meet her friends, but they bailed. And we just kept on talking for a little bit longer, just kind of getting to know each other. And I just did one kind of simple thing because we were vibing, we were having a really good time. And what most men would do here is think, this is good, she seems interested, things are going well, I'll ask for a number and we can maybe arrange a date sometime. But instead of doing that, I went for something different. Instead, I just asked like, hey, I know this is just out of the blue, we've just met each other, but do you fancy just grabbing a drink down there? I know this really awesome bar, it's just like 100 meters down the road. And she kind of stood there, she stared at me, and she said yes. And then within literally like 4 minutes, when I was walking home thinking my evening was done, I end up bumping into this girl, and then I end up on an instant date. And those of you that were paying attention there might have seen how I teed that up, because there was something very important that I asked. So if I was out there looking to try and get dates faster, the thing is, the instant date is possible. And I ask one question often in every single interaction to see if it's on the cards. It's one of the first questions I ever ask a girl when I go up and speak to them. After we've done name exchange, after we've had a bit of an intro, I simply say, oh, what are you up to today? Because one, it's a nice jumping off point for conversation. Oh, you're off to meet friends to go to the cinema. Cool. Oh, you're off to a yoga class, whatever it is. But it also allows you to know if they're actually that busy right now. And in this girl's case, I asked her that and she said no. She was meant to be to her friends, but they bailed. So that planted a seed in my head that was just like, okay, well, if this interaction goes quite well, I'm just gonna ask her. And I did, and we ended up having an amazing time. We went to a bar just down the road. We ended up staying there for like 2-3 hours. And then we ended up going on a date the next day. And I did the same thing with another girl. So I ended up having to do like back-to-back dates. And this makes me sound way more of some sort of player than I am. I am not. What unfortunately happened just after these dates was I got deported. I extended my stay without a visa, so couldn't stay any longer and had to get kicked out. So I was there like, Christ, I've met these 2 awesome girls, but I can't actually go on that many dates with them. So I was just in a position where I needed to go like quite quick with the dates. I had to kind of move fast. So I'm going to walk you through why exactly this is the best way to be able to get dates quick and how you can line it up, because there are a few quick skills that you need. Because I am like Mr. Approach. I talk about it on the channel so much. I think it's the best thing to do. But there is a level above that, and that is the instant date, going for it and being able to walk out there, speak to a girl, really match her energy, have a great connection. And the things that I would recommend for a guy that is trying to do this, it's obviously learning the basic skills of approach, being bold and confident enough to walk over there, knowing what to say in these interactions. And I have videos across this channel talking you through this step by step. But the things that I want to focus on now is how to take that girl that you've just met on the street to being on that instant date. Because one of the key things I did for a girl was acknowledge the fact that, hey, this is a bit strange, and I get that. Like, it's a little bit unusual. But do you want to go to a bar just down the road? So one thing that I did was acknowledge the situation. I made it super clear that this was kind of unusual and not like just your standard fare. So she realized I had some level of like social skill. But then I also went for something really low friction, because every time that I've managed to get an instant date, I didn't try and do something dumb where it was like, oh, well, let's go across town, jump in a taxi and go to this restaurant. You want to keep it like she doesn't know you that well yet. It's quite a risk for a girl to suddenly go on a date with someone that she doesn't know. So what I always do is be like, okay, I need to have something very low friction here. It needs to be just along the way. Even the bar that I went to, when I was picking us a table, I didn't go get us to sit inside, which I felt was quite intimate and more closed off environment. I sat us outside to start off with, so she would be able to get more comfortable with me. We ended up moving inside afterwards, after like an hour, when we were starting to really sort of get on well together. But if I hadn't have sort of taken her through those easy steps, we wouldn't have been on a date. And I think that's one of the easy ways that you can get dates a lot faster, is understanding that it is possible to literally go out there and meet someone. And that requires you being able to present yourself a little bit better. And it's all the skills that come along with approaching. But the way to get the date fast, if we're talking how would I do it if it was 24 hours, is I'm looking for a girl that's open to an instant date. I'm looking for a girl that I'm able to go up, find out she's not up to too much today, so I'd recommend doing this on a weekend. Both times and instances I'm thinking about this, I was on a weekend. It was a Saturday. Like, it makes it really easy. People don't have work commitments. They're not as busy, easy to go into. Because yeah, as much as I had a great time with those two girls in the 48 hours, unfortunately, I was then on a flight literally the next morning after one of the dates. But I got put back in the UK. And some might be then, oh, woe is me, for God's sake, I'm now back in the UK, I missed out. But instead, I was just like, okay, let's see how long it takes me to get a date here. And I coordinated to go out on a specific weekend. And it was simply that. I was there in the market square and I saw this really pretty girl. She walked out of a charity shop and I saw her and I was like, she looks cute. And I simply walked up to her, said hi, was just like, hi, I thought you looked awesome today. And we did name exchange, ended up asking her what she was up to. And this girl was out shopping, out trying to find an outfit for an event she was going to. So immediately in my head again, I was like, okay, this is an opportunity here. This is an instance for, if we have that connection, to be able to go out and do something about it. So then we did. We instantly went out. We had a coffee. No, I don't drink coffee. We had a peppermint tea. And then we've been dating ever since. So if you're there looking for how can I get a date really quickly, it's becoming stronger with approaching. And I know that's scary. I know it isn't a dating app where you can simply have the ability to avoid rejection entirely and just hide behind the swiping system. Approaching is scary, but it's the one way to actually meet girls now. It's the one way to put yourself out there, separate yourself from others, and then once you have developed that skill to approach, it's walking over there, finding out what she's up to, acknowledging that this is different, it's a bit strange, she doesn't know you, and then offering her a really low friction solution for how you can then get to know each other a bit better. And now, if you're thinking, cool, I've got this, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna start approaching, I can meet some people, then I recommend you pick the right locations, because in both of these instances, the thing that really helped me was the fact that I picked a good location to meet girls for this. So if you want to know where you should go so you don't waste your time, check out this video here where I run you through the locations that I send my clients where I've been to be able to get instant dates with girls and to be able to be on a date within 24 hours.